Are continuing to work with repetition and variety, kind of like the work we did with the simple press molds, but now I've asked you to repeat the same form at least 3 times. So here I've repeated the sphere 3 times. These are nice, kind of a soft leather hard, ready to go. I'm asking you to make connections between some of these things. We're talking about value, texture, and color specifically from the element side. And the principle side, we were talking this week kind of about these things. We can talk about the others as well. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming. These are all really kind of simple concepts if you really boil it down to, just the simplest way to look at things. Harmony. Do things kind of meld together in a way? Well, there's already harmony here because they're all the same form, right? So it's about sameness of form in this case that's creating some harmony. There isn't a lot of variety yet. Maybe I can create some emphasis by working with variety. You guys in a discussion did a really good connection between line and movement, right? So all of these things are at play. Texture would be really easy to apply to these. It would be really easy to apply different textures or the same texture in different amounts, right? A different balance of texture, of smooth to rough, or whatever texture you might be using. If you poked a hole in this, it would make a really dark value. Texture also affects the value, the lightness of darkness on a piece. So does color. So all these things can work together really easily, and you can make a plan to have variety, right, across this repetition, across this rhythm of form. So really, how can I make each of these different, but how can they still potentially work together? They already work together because they're the same form. That's your assignment. I could, these are bone dry, right? They would need to be leather hard for me to connect them, but I could even attach some of my press molded stuff to the outside of my forms if I wanted to. That could be kind of cool. You could cover one with press molds. You could maybe just have one on another one. There's a lot of different things you could do. So it's kind of about coming up with a plan. Of course, texture laid out in a certain way can become pattern, right? Which we don't mention pattern because pattern is a little bit more evolved, but we're going to focus on principles and elements and how to make connections. That can end up making really, really strong work. All right. So the key for this week is to start to develop a plan and then start working on each of these. All right. Okay. Oh, really important. Little flat spot for it to sit on at the bottom when you're done. I want your initials on the bottom, and I want a hole. There has to be a hole poked in at least the bottom, right? Remember, these are nice to work on because there's air trapped inside. If we leave the air trapped inside and then it goes in the kiln, it pops apart. All right? Okay.